Welcome back to the Relaxing Ghost channel here on YouTube. Today we have episode 27 of the Attitude Era review series, WWF SummerSlam 1999. Got a bit of a glare there. So, hope everyone's having a wonderful day. So we're having a pretty good day here as well. SummerSlam 99 was live August 22nd, 1999, Minneapolis, Minnesota, at the Target Center, 17,370. I think on during the broadcast they announced 19,404. You know, WWE is famous for their attendance figures being out of whack, so doesn't surprise me. So I hope a few of you guys could join me today. That's cool, man. Hope you enjoy your day. So SummerSlam '99 was the first ever pay-per-view I ever seen live. So this pay-per-view means a lot to me. It brings back a lot of good memories of watching WWE, WWF back in the day. And it was some crazy times. This was one of the last pay-per-views Vince Russo was a part of. I believe we have one more after this. So let's get into the card. We had a few people here already. All-time Hulk fan. That boy who goes ahoy. What's going on, guys? So we have JR and the King on commentary. This would be the out-of-body experience. Jesse the Body Ventura would be the special guest referee for the second time. He was a part of the very first SummerSlam main event in 1988. And here he is again. This time he is now the governor of Minnesota. So before the show actually starts, we have a backstage promo with Jesse the Body Ventura and Triple H saying, don't break the rules, this and that. We also have Jericho arriving with Howard Finkel. Howard Finkel was kind of Jericho's lackey at the time, carrying his bags and whatnot. This was pretty funny. Jericho debuted, I believe, less than 2 weeks before this, just about 2 weeks prior. First match of the night, D'Lo Brown versus Jeff Jarrett for both the Intercontinental and European Championships. D'Lo Brown is a double champion here. And he's putting both titles on the line. Both titles on the line on SummerSlam 99. This is the DVD here. A lot of cool artwork in that. So, not many people held both IC and European titles. I think only 2 or 3 different people have at the same time. The next would be Kurt Angle. So, Jeff Jarrett comes out. He says, Deborah, go to the back, whatever. Deborah's at the back before D'Lo comes in, and D'Lo's like, "Hi," and D'Lo Brown hits a running power bomb. Jeff Jarrett dodges the lowdown, and Deborah's up on the apron going for the distraction. Mark Henry comes down with the guitar to D'Lo. Jeff Jarrett for the 3, and he is the new IC and European champion. Of course, it was all a ruse. Deborah is with Jarrett. Mark Henry turns on his friend, D'Lo Brown. And the next night or something like that, Jeff Jarrett would just give Mark Henry the European title. Jeff Jarrett, of course, is on his way out of the company. He's only going to be around for a couple more months. After this, we had an Edge and Christian promo backstage. Second match of the night is going to be Tag Team Turmoil. I always loved when they did these. They don't do them too much anymore these days. We had 6 teams for the number one contendership of the tag titles, which would be challenged on Raw. So Edge and Christian versus the Hardys start the match. Each match only goes about, 5 to 6 minutes, but this is fairly cool. So they do a cool spot where Jeff Hardy runs the barricade. Edge is on the other side of the barricade, and he hits Jeff Hardy with a spear. Big splash by Christian for the 3. The Hardys get eliminated. Out next is Mideon and Viscera. Edge and Christian double team Viscera. Edge hits a spear for 3 on Mideon. Out next, Draws and Prince Albert. This one went pretty quick. Downward spiral on Albert for the 3. So Edge and Christian are pretty dominant here early on. And they are taking out a few of these teams. And then out next are the big boys, the Acolytes. Farouk, Bradshaw. This one had a pretty good amount of heat to it. Clothesline from Hell to Christian for the 3 count. And final team out here are the Hollies, Hardcore and Crash Holly. The Hollies are just fighting each other. They're not even worried about the APA. Farouk hits a spine buster for 3, and the Acolytes are the number 1 contenders. Coming up next, the Big Show and Undertaker arrive at the arena. Well, thank you very much, all-time Hulk fan. Try my best with the streams. So, Taker and Big Show arrived at the arena. I always liked when they did things like that. We don't see, kayfabe-wise, when superstars are arriving, They always would do it. Oh, The Rock has finally arrived. Austin hasn't arrived yet. We'll keep you tuned in when Austin gets here and things like that. It was, they would have the camera set up at the back door. Always liked how they did that. Little details like that kind of string you along. When's Stone Cold going to be here? We want to see Stone Cold. Then we got an Al Snow promo with Pepper. This was the end of Head. I believe the last pay-per-view, Head had a spike through his head. So Al Snow now has adopted a new dog, Pepper. They tried something new with Al Snow here. I think they kind of got some trouble there with Head, the toy, and the action figure and whatnot. So they were trying a new thing with the dog. I personally was never a fan of it, but they got some fun skits out of it. Road Dogg promo in the ring. And Road Dogg is saying he's not even on SummerSlam. He should be in this hardcore title match. And he's challenging the next hardcore champion to a match tomorrow on Raw. Jericho comes out. And he's on top of the Lion's Den. And he's calling out Road Dogg, saying you must be dyslexic because you can barely even spell your own name. This was Jericho's initial pay-per-view debut. So it was cool to see Jericho on WWF pay-per-view. And like I said, he's only been in the company 2 weeks now. Yeah, some people like Road Dogg, some people have always hated him. Anyways, I don't think Road Dogg ever gets that title match. If he does, he lost the next night. Because Road Dogg was dealing with back problems. They would kind of write him out of TV on the first episode of SmackDown. So Jericho just kind of berates Road Dogg here for a few minutes. And they move on. Third match of the night is for the hardcore title match. Al Snow versus the Big Boss Man. These guys had an ongoing feud throughout '99, and Some of it was good, some of it was just awful, and we'll get to that the next month. This was a Big Boss Man was the hardcore champion here. So we had the Roman Road Dogg. Road Dogg was kind of doing commentary while following the action wherever these guys went backstage out of the arena. And so this match starts in the aisleway. The Al Snow actually sits up on these they got these kind of boom cranes. He sits on top of one of those and he jumps off, clotheslines Big Boss Man to kind of start the match. This goes backstage fairly quickly and across the street into a bar. Um, Road Dogg with the nightstick to the Big Boss Man. We got a new hardcore champion, Al Snow. Um, at one point, when they were backstage, Boss Man threw the pet carrier and they thought Pepper was in there. We found out later Pepper was not in there. When Al Snow is coming back into the arena, we see Blue Meanie and Stevie Richards just with the Pepper, and I don't know if they saved Pepper or not, but Al Snow attacks them, lays them out, and after that we had a Rock promo. Billy Gunn. Fourth match of the night would be the women's title match, Tori versus Ivory. This was okay. This was at a down period in the women's division. I've never been really a fan of Sable or Tori. Tori was okay, but I think these guys or these gals were fairly unexperienced at this time. Even Sable, she'd been with the company for over a year now, or maybe 2 years by this point, but she still wasn't, a polished wrestler. Tori hits a spear and an alley-oop for a 2 count. A botched sunset flip. Ivory, or sorry, I said Sable. This is Tori versus Ivory. Botched sunset flip. Ivory pins Tori to retain the title. And she gets chased out by Luna. Fifth match of the night is going to be our Lion's Den match. Now, I've always been a fan of this match. They've only done 2 of them. So, I always found it weird why they never brought it back, especially for Lesnar. It'd be cool, just as a one-off or a every once in a while kind of deal. It was their version of the kind of UFC Octagon. This was a kind of no DQ weapons Lion's Den match. They had different kendo sticks and different kind of karate sticks that Blackman used all around the cage there. So we got Steve Blackman versus Ken Shamrock. They're using nunchuck sticks, kendo sticks. Blackman asks out of the cage when he has Shamrock down, and the referee's like, no, you can't win like that, I guess. It's cool, too, because you got a referee on the catwalk of the cage. Belly to Steve Blackman with a kendo stick to the head. Blackman is knocked out. They declare Ken Shamrock the winner. No pinfall, no submission, nothing, just a knockout win. So, decent match overall. So, backstage once again, we have the Mean Street Posse ringside, and they're on a sofa. They got a little lamp out there with champagne. So, sixth match of the night, Test versus Shane McMahon in a lover or leaver Greenwich Street fight. If Test wins, he can stay with Stephanie. If Shane wins, Test is no longer going to be involved with Stephanie. This is an awesome match overall. This stole the show, to put it bluntly. Shane, a very inexperienced wrestler at this time. Test, a very new, inexperienced wrestler at the time. They used the street fight to their advantage, and this was one hell of a match. So this one starts out, they go in the crowd, the policy's getting involved, Test kind of knocks them all out. And before this, Test had, I think he broke Joey's neck, Pete Gas's leg, and Rodney's arm. So these guys are coming out all beat up anyway. And they got signs. Shane grabs a glass pitcher of himself and the posse over Test's head, smashing the glass everywhere. And Shane misses the moonsault. Test hits a power bomb, but the ref is distracted once again. Big boot to the ref, and the posse is getting involved once again. They set up Test on the Spanish announce table. Shane McMahon does the big elbow drop through the Spanish announce table. This was one of Shane's first big jumps here. They roll in Test. Shane McMahon gets a 2 count. And Joey Abs ends up hitting Shane. Test gets another 2 count. Pat Patterson and Jerry Briscoe make their way out here to take care of the posse. Pump handle slam. Test hits a big elbow off the top. 1, 2, 3. Test is going to be out here celebrating with Stephanie. This was a very emotional match. I wasn't really a fan of the whole Test Stephanie kind of marriage angle, but this was a good match overall. Really good. Yeah. Yeah, back then Stephanie was a pretty good looking. So, 7th match of the night is going to be for the WWF Tag Team Championships. X-Pac and Kane defending the titles versus Undertaker and The Big Show. So X-Pac and Kane at the time were probably my favorite part of the Monday Night Raw. At this time still, SmackDown has still not debuted. The first episode of SmackDown is going to be the following Thursday night. So 4 days later is the first SmackDown, not including the pilot episode they did in April. So this is a pretty quick match. Good back and forth here. But X-Pac is in the land of the giants. X-Pac maybe 210 pounds against 500-pound Big Show, Undertaker and Kane at 325. So X-Pac is definitely outnumbered here. But Kane is a good ally here. Undertaker has a bear hug on X-Pac, chokeslam to X-Pac. And he does the kind of foot on the chest, kind of covering X-Pac with the foot, and X-Pac is not staying down. Chokeslam is blocked by Kane. X-Pac hits a Bronco Buster on Big Show. Kane hits a chokeslam for a 2 count. Undertaker hits one of the perfect tombstones I ever seen. 1, 2, 3. We have new tag team champions. This was a decent tag team match. I think they wanted to get Undertaker kind of away from the title scene for a while and put him with the Big Show. Big Show was still fairly new. Kind of teach Big Show some of the ropes, and Undertaker is the best man to do that. So, unfortunately, Undertaker would, be suffering an injury during this time. I think that was also kind of the reasoning behind this, give him more rest time. He's in there with some other guys, so all the focus isn't on him. But Undertaker wouldn't be around much longer. Maybe 2 more weeks. So, 8th match of the night. Never liked this match. Kiss my ass match between The Rock and Billy Gunn. And Billy Gunn has a huge reveal with he's come out with this huge woman. The Rock has a huge pop, gigantic. Um, these guys battle all over the arena. Fameasser to The Rock, and Billy Gunn tosses this woman in the ring or rolls her in the ring, and The Rock kind of shoves Billy's head in her butt. Rock bottom, people's elbow. The Rock is the champion, or The Rock wins. The Rock is still the people's champion, of course. But this match, I didn't like it. Billy Gunn was the king of the ring. It had been rumored that he was supposed to face Steve Austin around this time. Austin said, we really had no build to this and whatever. So Austin kind of shot that down. That's what's been rumored. So here's Billy Gunn with The Rock, King of the Ring winner, and nothing really comes to Billy Gunn's King of the Ring win. It's he's one of the weak of the ring winners, and whether Austin wanted to work with him or not, that's another story. But I honestly wouldn't believe Billy Gunn is WWF champion, especially back then. So Austin's kind of right. There was no build to it. They really weren't involved with each other. Austin and Billy Gunn were friends, but on TV, Billy Gunn had been nowhere near a WWF title match at all. Ninth match of the night is for the World Wrestling Federation Championship. Triple threat with Jesse the Body Ventura as the referee. Triple H, Mankind, and Stone Cold Steve Austin. So if you could get rid of any wrestling moment, it would be hiring Vince Russo. That could be debated. Russo, when he's by himself, yeah. But when Russo has a filter, he could be very good. He's his own worst enemy because he just puts anything out there and sees what works and what doesn't work. So the main event for the WWF title, Austin defending the title here in a triple threat match. Triple H comes out wearing chainmail vest. I think he only wore that once or twice. He's wearing trunks. Earlier on in the match, Foley and Austin are double teaming Triple H, and they're getting booed. Chyna gets ejected, and it's a good back and forth here between Austin and Foley, Triple H and Austin, Triple H and Foley. So Shane McMahon comes out at one point. He gets ejected. Austin gets tangled in the ropes, which is pretty funny if you actually see it. He's actually like upside down, stuck in the ropes. He's talked about that on one of his DVDs before. And Triple H has to come save him and pull him out of the ropes. These guys are all down here towards the end of the match. Mr. Socko to Stone Cold. And Austin, I think, blocks the pedigree. Foley ends up getting the pedigree. Stunner to Triple H for a 2. Pedigree to Austin. Triple H, or Foley, breaks up the 3 count. Hits a double arm DDT on Stone Cold. And Foley ends up getting the 3 count and winning the WWF Championship for a 3rd time. Now, this may probably be the wrong call here, but Triple H should have won this match. No question about it. Mick Foley had already been a top champion, WWF champion at this point. Austin was leaving anyway for knee surgery or something like that. I think it was just a scope. Austin was dropping the title regardless. So I still feel like Triple H kind of got screwed out of the title here. Triple H would win the title the next night on Raw. After the match, Triple H puts the boots to Austin, chairs to the knees. This was much more graphic when I was a kid watching this compared to now, unless they've edited it down a bit. But chairs to the knees several times, just beating the hell out of Austin, and Austin is not in good shape. Of course, Triple H, like I said, wins the title the next night, and he's gonna go on, a hell of a run here for several months and several years. Triple H would be the top man on Monday night, or the top heel, not the top man, but uh, I still feel like Triple H should have won the title regardless, like I've said, because Triple H wins the title, he's gonna lose the title to Vince, and then he's gonna win the title back, and then he's gonna have a few matches with Austin before Austin leaves for neck surgeries. Um, Overall, I like this pay per view because it's pretty good memories for me. But this is not a good show overall. I think that, like every show, it has its highs, its lows. I'd probably give it a 7 out of 10 to be fair. Let me know your thoughts down below, guys. So, next on the pay per view schedule, or the Attitude Era review schedule, I'm going to review some classic SmackDowns. These are from my personal collection. Homemade VHS tapes. Yes, that was a thing back in the day. We didn't have DVRs. We didn't have WWE Network. You put your tape in and you hit record. And if not, you would probably never see that episode of Raw or SmackDown again. Because there was no way, there was no replays. Raw might have had a replay, but SmackDown sure didn't. So I did review the first episode of SmackDown already. I'm going to review the September 2nd episode, which features Triple H and Shane versus The Rock and Sock. The September 9th episode of SmackDown, which features the Buried Alive Tag Team title match, Undertaker and Big Show versus The Rock and Sock. And then the following week, September 16th, from Las Vegas. That would be when the referees went on strike, if you guys ever remember that. And I also believe that's where Vince McMahon wins the title. So those will be fun to go back and watch and review. And then, getting into back to our pay-per-views. Unforgiven 1999. I love that cover. Got the big title there with our 6-pack challenge for the WWF title. So it'd be where China challenged for the IC title. And then I'm going to get into a few of these UK pay-per-views. The ones that I need to catch up on, and the next one in the series. First up here we have Capital Carnage from 98. So this is right after Survivor Series with The Rock as the champion. And then following Unforgiven, we have Rebellion 99. Triple H versus The Rock in a steel cage match. That'll be fun to go back and watch as well. So if you guys have any questions or comments, proceed to do now. I'm done plugging everything. I did also record a few videos today, some of your guys' suggestions, so that's always cool. Just about done wrapping up now. Like this, or with the title. Yeah, it's better than a spoiler cover, that's for sure. WWE's covers are weak these days. I love these old pay-per-view covers. No 6-packs. That was, I believe, the first ever 6-pack challenge they did as well. They didn't do many of those. And then they kind of just started doing them all the time. So 12 Mondo said he gave it an 8 out of 10. I think that's a fair rating as well. Um, Overall, it's a decent SummerSlam, but if Triple H had won the title here, they could have really ran with that. I also have no idea why they wanted Vince to win the title. It did make for a great episode of Raw and SmackDown with Triple H competing in 5 matches, but Vince McMahon should be nowhere near a title match. And I think it was to give maybe more credibility to Triple H, having him win these big matches and interaction with Stone Cold. Who knows? And there was no DQ in a triple threat, so Triple H could have bashed in Austin's head during the match and still won the title. I'm also going to be reviewing some of the classic WCW cage matches. The triple cage matches were always fun, and also a train wreck. Well, looks like no one has any more questions here, but I'm going to wrap it up now. Take some time and subscribe, guys. As always, we'll talk to you later. Peace.